Okay, so this is the video tutorial for you guys on how to create the fitting for your plywood lamp in which the bulb is going to be sat and fixed in. To do this we're going to be using SolidWorks. Obviously SolidWorks is on your desktop, it's this icon just here. It is not SolidWorks Composer or Electrical, ignore those. Open up SolidWorks, double click. It does sometimes take a little while to load up in the studio, I'm not going to lie to you. It's quite a high performance program, so it takes a little while to get cracking. But once you have opened it, you will come to this page just here, and to begin with we want to go to the arrow in the top left corner here, File, New, and we're going to go to New Part. And it will come through to this page just here. Before we go any further at this point, you will need to check in the bottom right hand corner there that you've got MMGS highlighted. This is to do with the units of measurements which are used and which we're going to be using. You don't want it to be anything else but MMGS, so just make sure you do double check that. So SolidWorks, it is similar in many respects to 2D design. We've got all the tools here on the Sketch tab, and these allow us to create essentially drawings. You've got your line tools, circles, you can create curves, arcs, rectangles, you can see obviously on the screen, and we will use those in a moment to start building the piece. After that, once we've created a general drawing or a sketch as it says, we can then go to the Features tab and we will use Extruded Boss Base, and that is the feature which actually takes a sketch from being 2D to 3D. But anyway, in this instance we need to click on Sketch, and then we need to hover over Top Plane, and if you click right click on the mouse and select Sketch, this is obviously, as you can see, to do with the angle with which we look at what it is we're building. You could view it from the side or the front, but the features that we're actually going to be putting into it, we do want to be doing it from the top. And if you go on to do SolidWorks work in year 11 and also in 6th form, it really is worth just considering the angle with which you begin to build. Right, so to start this off we need to choose the line tool up at the top here. We're not actually going to put in a line which is actually part of the build. We're going to put in a center line to begin with. I find center lines really useful as it gives you a point from which to measure and to take measurements, and that very much helps you when you are building. Once you've clicked on that center line, you want to hover over these two red arrows in the middle. You'll see firstly that a little orange blob pops up, and there's also that yellow icon with the black lines going through. That's basically telling you you are in the center of that plane which we're building on. If you then just pull out to the left hand side, I'm not clicking at this point, I'm just moving the mouse, and you can see it's creating that dashed line. There's also a white box with a black line going through it. That is to tell you that line is absolutely straight, it's running horizontally perfectly. So I'm just going to keep going outside the plane, that doesn't matter. I'm going to click, and then you can see it begins to actually create that line which we're talking about. This is the same kind of process for any of the sketch tools. In the Sketch tab there, you click release, and it will then allow you to drag out as you so wish. So I'm going to pull it over to the right hand side now. Make sure we go through the origin in the middle here. You can see that we have, because the orange blob has turned to an orange cross, and also we've got the yellow icon again with a yellow box with the black line going through. So that means we're going straight horizontally through the origin, which is exactly what we need. Pull it all the way out to the right hand side here and click, and that has created our line. It will then allow you to put more in. At this point, don't worry about it, press escape, and that will take you back to the general sketching options. The escape button is a really useful button to actually get into the habit of using. If something goes wrong, if you do something incorrectly, you start putting a line in which you don't need, or you're just not happy with what's going on screen, press escape, it will take you back to the stage you were at before that. I swear by it, to be perfectly honest. Right, we've got the center line in, we can now actually begin putting real features which are going to be part of the lamp fitting. So I'm now going to choose the circle tool. Again, I'm building from the origin. You can see there's a square there, don't go for that, I want to go from the origin there. Click, and once more release, drag out, and you'll see it's creating a circle. The R equals, as you probably will be able to work out, is to do with the radius of the circle that we're creating. If you try and make sure it's nice and straight up from the origin, you'll see again the white box with the black line going through. Always get into the habit of watching out for those things just to make sure everything you're building is nice and straight. Drag it out, let's say to about there. Doesn't matter necessarily how far we go. And then what we want to do is choose Smart Dimension. This is basically a steel rule in DT but on SolidWorks. If you click on that, it will allow you to measure lines if you highlight them. In this instance, it's going to measure for us the overall diameter of that circle. What's really nice about this feature, if you watch, if I click now, it will then allow me to edit that measurement to whatever I need it to be. In this instance, I need it to be 40 millimeters, so I'm going to type in 40, and then I can either press Enter or OK, and it will automatically have set that to be 40 millimeters. And then if I do the same process once more from the center of the origin, pull it out, make sure I'm nice and straight, and click once more, Smart Dimension, highlight the outer circle this time, hover it above our original measurement you've got there. This measurement is going to be 46 millimeters. And that is the beginning of the process, with more stages to come shortly.